Smoke, Junior. They already know what time it is.
T-Bug Crawford.
Yeah. Everybody know who the champ is at 147, who the king is. And he too small. He too small. He little. He light in the ass.
Hey, look. Ain't nobody say Floyd was light in the ass.
He light in the ass. You not Floyd.
Hey, I told you I was gonna pull up on Spence.
Hey, you was really already know.
Hey, look.
I love it.
Hey, look.
I love it.
I told him I want that word. I told him I want that word. This ain't no Keith Thurman shit. That's why we be scared and shit.
Breaking news of boxing pound for pound number 1, Terence "Bud" Crawford. Bud on Behind the Gloves called out Jermell Charlo, or I should say the winner of Charlo versus Castaño. Crawford let it be known if he can't get the Errol Spence fight, if Errol Spence continues to avoid him, then he's going after Charlo. Here is exactly what Crawford had to say.
I want that fight. You know, if it happens, it happens. You know, I've been calling for it for years now. You know, if it don't, it don't. You know.
So you're okay if it never happens? Because us fight fans aren't okay with that.
Well, the fight fans got to be the ones that push for it. Okay. You know, you got to be the ones that demand it. Mm-hmm. I did my part. I've done my part since being professional by going through everybody that they put in front of me. I can't see what I can do different or anymore, you know. Mm-hmm. If I can't get the Spence Ugas winner, I would love to get the Jermell and Castaño winner.
This was just a little portion from the interview, so for the full interview, I'm gonna leave the link in the description box below. Now, what you guys have to realize, it doesn't matter how bad Crawford wants the Errol Spence fight, because at the end of the day, or at least the night, it takes two to tango. If two fighters really want to fight, then the fight will happen. It doesn't matter what obstacle is in the way. For example, Wilder versus Fury rematch. If the fighters want it, the fight will happen. Now, we all can agree, 1000%, Terence Crawford wants the Errol Spence fight, but we definitely can't say it's the other way around. I mean, at this point, Errol Spence is really ignoring Terence Crawford as if he's a nobody that doesn't even exist, as if Crawford is not boxing pound for pound number 1 king. But can you blame him? I mean, the way Crawford have been knocking everyone out at the welterweight division, from Porter, Kell Brook, Jeff Horn, Benavidez, so on and so forth. Who has the audacity to step up to the plate to challenge Crawford? We're talking about a fighter that's unbeatable today, as he has been unbeatable for the past few years in the sport of boxing. No fighter at any weight class beats Crawford today. I mean, you really think Crawford will turn down $55 million guaranteed plus pay-per-view to fight his mandatory David Benavidez the way Canelo Alvarez just did? Man, you give Crawford that type of money, forget about fighting his mandatory the way he already did against Sean Porter. If you give Crawford that type of money, forget about Errol Spence, forget about Charlo. Man, Crawford will move up in weight to beat the crap out of Canelo for that type of money. However, you'll see Canelo fighting Avini Yildirim, a fighter coming off a loss, for only $15 million, a fighter that was there for a payday. But he won't fight Benavidez for a payday of $55 million guaranteed plus pay-per-view, even though that's his mandatory as well. The same man that he stole the belt from like a thief, which further proof Crawford is the pound for pound king in the sport of boxing. Meanwhile, Canelo, you can say he's not the face of boxing. It's more like he's the duck of boxing. Furthermore, thanks to Canelo turning down more than $100 million guaranteed to fight both Charlo and Benavidez, now PBC can't claim they don't have money for Crawford. In fact, they should put that offer on the table for Crawford to fight both Errol Spence and Charlo. You think Crawford will turn down that type of money to fight both Errol and Charlo? I don't think so. Even though they tougher fights, Crawford will take both fights for way less money. Therefore, we know money is not the excuse. Since PBC have all of the money, since Canelo did not take it, the money is still available for all of these other PBC fighters. And one thing we do know, Errol Spence versus Crawford is the fight of the decade. So that fight is going to generate so much money that PBC is not going to be able to count. Another thing we do know, Errol Spence said a long time ago, years ago, that Crawford is on the other side of the street. So he needs to clean his side of the street, and I'ma clean mine. Errol Spence said, once I'm done cleaning my side of the street, then it's strap season. He will fight Crawford for undisputed. We shall see. Only time will tell if Errol Spence is successful and victorious against the tough Ugas. Then there is no more excuses, no more delays, because Crawford has officially crossed the street after cleaning his own side of the street by knocking out every single welterweight he fought, including outperforming Errol Spence in his two biggest fights against Kell Brook and Porter. And to all of the people that say Errol Spence said 3 years ago or 4 years ago that Crawford needs to accept 60-40 split since he's the big fish, right? Well, let me ask you, did Errol Spence send an offer or was he just talking? I'll wait. Oh, thank you. He was just talking. He absolutely did not send an offer. Therefore, it's all rubbish. Until an official offer is sent, it's irrelevant to be talking about splits, so on and so forth, till negotiations begin. Bud will be a fool to agree to a split 3 freaking years ago before the fight takes place. I mean, at least be logical when you decafs hate on Crawford. I mean, I get it. There is nothing to criticize Crawford for since he's a free smoke fighter. But don't make shit out of y'all a-hole just to talk crap because y'all personally hate him for some odd reason, whatever the case may be. Keep it boxing and give this man his flowers while he's here because he is one of the GOATs. But to each your own. Here we keep it boxing. It's all about the whole absolute truth on Akhi TV. Therefore, if you guys want the fight, you guys may want to ask Errol Spence how come he did not ask Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, so on and so forth, for a 60-40 split publicly years before he fought them. After all, Errol Spence told Sean Porter he couldn't sell his own family dinner. However, last time I checked, Errol Spence fought Porter in a heartbeat without giving him any hard time. The truth, Errol Spence also accepted a 50-50 split to fight Mikey Garcia without telling him to prove himself at the welterweight division and, more importantly, go get a belt the way everyone did to Terence Crawford. Apparently, Terence Crawford is held to another standard. However, I'm optimistic Errol Spence will do the right thing after beating Ugas. But if he don't, and he ends up giving Crawford the Keith Thurman treatment, the treatment Keith Thurman gave Errol Spence before tables turn, then it's more than fair to say Errol Spence turned himself into the man that he hated the most, becoming Keith 2.0. I highly doubt Errol Spence will want to be remembered like that. So if he don't, he has to do the right thing. Now, if Errol Spence doesn't do the right thing, one fighter that will do the right thing, that has always stepped up to the plate, a fighter that goes out of his way in order to challenge himself, Jermell Charlo. I have no doubt he will step up to the plate, and that will be a huge fight. Crawford versus Jermell Charlo. Man, that would definitely put Crawford in the driver's seat, or Jermell Charlo, whoever wins. Obviously, Crawford does have to move up in weight, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for Bud because he has knocked out every single welterweight he fought, even at the highest level against Kell Brook, Porter, so on and so forth. Now, at this moment in time, Charlo does have unfinished business with Castaño. Obviously, Castaño did sustain an injury a couple days ago, so the fight is postponed. Jermell Charlo believed Castaño faked an injury, just like Tony Harrison. So the WBO is requesting a proof of the injury, where if Castaño is unable to provide the proof, then the WBO will order him to fight his mandatory Tim Zoo. So we shall see how the story will unfold. For the moment in time, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.